Good afternoon. We have Dr. Moria Levy today for a conversation on knowledge management. Dr. Moria Levy is the CEO of ROM Knowledgeware Limited. Her firm has 40 employees offering knowledge sharing, retention, and development activities. She is an ardent KM researcher, and her researches are in the area of knowledge retention with KM Web 2.0 implementation in organization as one of the most cited papers written by her. She has published many articles and blogs related to knowledge management. She also serves as chairman of KM expert committee in charge of writing standards on KM ISO 30401. She is the chairman of Israel Knowledge Management Forum. She is a part of committee in charge of knowledge management studies in the Ministry of Education in Israel. Dr. Levy also serves as deputy chair in KMGN, promoting KM collaboration between countries. She is now leading the innovative KMAI course, proposing new understanding on KM. Dr. Levy has a BSc in Maths and Computer Science and an MSc in Computer Science. She completed her PhD in Knowledge Management from Bar-Ilan University in 2010. She continues to work, teach, guide, and share her knowledge with staff and people who share passion for KM, AI, and digital technologies. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you for accepting our request to share your knowledge with us. There are so many new things, probably new use cases where which we have to come up with, whether it is a technology company or a KM company, so that we don't lose knowledge in the companies because of the decentralization and because this pandemic is here to stay for a couple of more years. If I can read the medical news right. So what do you think are the new use cases that we need to prepare for knowledge in terms of knowledge retention?
Okay, so it's a very good question, and it's a question that there are two perspectives again. Because first of all, everyone comes and says, okay, what can we as technology people, technology companies do more? And I just want to stop them for a minute because I want to say, first of all, you can see that there are three layers. There is the connectivity, done. We all have now connectivity. There is the software, being it Zoom, Teams, Cisco WebEx, it's already performed. We all have it.
Right.
Now, people think that that's enough.
Right.
And KMers have to understand that we have here another stage, because when people have access, connectivity to them, to the computers or to the network, they think, okay, so everything's good. What we are missing is that we had rituals, that part of them were formal and part of them were non-formal, that help us to share our knowledge, tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. We share less explicit knowledge because the meetings through these virtual media are more practical. Let's start, speak, do, go.
Right.
So we have to learn how to develop new rituals where we relax, where we drink tea together. That's an expression saying we speak also about things that do not deal with the matter of the meeting itself.
Okay.
That we build trust. So we build trust also through speaking about different things that are maybe more personal, and we start knowing one another. But we also not only build trust, but we also have an opportunity to speak about things that are on our mind, wandering around, our brains wandering. And then we have an opportunity for also sharing, not only building trust, but sharing explicit and tacit knowledge. We also need other ways. We also need to find ways to share tacit knowledge that we didn't do. We did in the kitchen, near the coffee place, when you went to the toilet, when you went out to lunch. And we don't have these meetings, these non-planned meetings.
Right.
So we have to invent them, we have to develop them as new methodologies of KMs. Saying that, there are also things that the technology companies can do. I started with the KMers and the place of KM because people don't understand that it's missing. Organizations think that everything's good. Once they have the connectivity, they have the software, everyone has access to the information, and shared documents we already had somehow. Not good enough, but they had. So the shared knowledge is the missing part, and it's fluid. People don't, it's non-tangible. So people don't feel it. That's why it's our role as KMers. But saying that, I think that we can enjoy, it's not what we need, but we can enjoy more capabilities in our technologies. I'll give you a few examples. We can have more sharing tools in the Zoom and in the Teams. Zoom already added a poll, but it's very basic. You can add bulletin boards, you can add canvases, you can add all kinds of variations of polls, etc. So they are missing yet sharing tools in these softwares. B, they can add, it's not the what, but the how, they can add gamification. Think about the polls when you have it as a tag cloud, and like in Mentimeter, and you see not only a tag cloud, but you see different colors, and every time something adds in, it turns away around and it changes. And so there are many ways to add gamification into the sharing tools and into the software itself. And this gamification is not only nice to have, it's an enabler for more relaxed, more trust, and more place for knowledge sharing. Because that's how we work. It's it's more fun. We have less barriers, we share more, we trust more. What else? We can speak about better knowledge deliverables. Maybe tomorrow, and now I'm going back to AI, we will have protocols from the Zoom or from the Cisco WebEx. Why not? Because if you have already today a transcript that goes together with the video recording, tomorrow you can have only a transcript. You can add to it the list of attendees, people who joined the meeting. If you know their job, you can add it. You can add, we had a meeting on date, time. The title was the title of the meeting. The attendees were ABC. Summarization, many main points that came up, and having the full transcript in a link. Isn't that an upgrade? A great upgrade?
Great upgrade, yes.
We can speak only about summarizations. We can speak about packages. Give me a package, having a video conference, transcript, summary, a report of attendees, and the minutes of meeting. So
wonderful.
There are many ways that we as knowledge managers would love them upgrading their tools. You know, just have to give me a question and I'll dream and come up with new ideas.
That's fantastic, actually. So going on to continuing with AI, there are how we can have AI and text analytics and similar technologies, as you just mentioned, identify the KM artifacts apart from probably things which can be auto generated either as a transcript or a kind of recording. But is there any way where we can use AI and text analytics to identify the artifacts and create them if possible?
Of course there are, and we just have to listen to the software tools that are now joining us and getting better and better, and let them work, because you have chatbots and you have smart chatbots and you have something that will help us with speaking and with analyzing and with finding artifacts. And you know, the technology is much faster than the people. So what we have to do is we have to listen, we have to learn, we have to seek, and we have to every time think what's most appropriate, what would be give now, today, the biggest added value to my company, to my organization where I am, and take one thing, and take one thing, and take one thing. And every half a year, if we take one thing,
That adds up a lot. That's true.
and technologies are much faster. There will be so many new things all the time. And I'm not going to go into the list because we have the list of today's 8 or 10 main AI enablers for KM.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned part of them earlier, but be sensitive. Ask yourself, okay, I'm in a service center. Maybe a smart chatbot is what I need. Maybe listen to what there is. Don't grab the ones that are the most technologist ones. Those who will give us the added value, the best added value in my position, in my situation, in my organization now.
The people understanding the identifying and creating a particular KM artifact is one thing, but is there a way where technology can find out what are the KM artifacts which can be created? Can that kind of intelligence come up, technologically?
Yes, we have it today, and it's in 2 levels. We have one level that's we call it knowledge graphs, where the AI scans a lot of documents, a lot of content, not only documents, but documents and other digital texts. And it comes up with one page that represents the knowledge artifact.
Wonderful. That's
and
great.
we can see today when you Google something, you find on the right hand of the page a knowledge graph. So today it's something like 2 years out there. So it's we think that someone sat and wrote about every company and about every term and about every person that they write there, the details. No, they know it's AI scanning, integrating, embedding, and put it into templates. Our job as KMers are to define these templates, to help cleansing the models, cleaning the AI, but that's a way of having knowledge artifacts. The second way has to do with text mining, where we are looking for whether sentiments, is some customer angry or not angry? What is happening, in the national banks? They want to understand what is the public thinking about A or B. Are they confused? Are they ignoring it? So that's sentiment analysis. That also develops knowledge artifacts. When we speak about text mining, we speak also about finding new medicines or new solutions for problems, because you take a lot of text and you ask a specific question, and the question can vary from should this person win the suit case or not, if we are now on a trial, and it ends for what is the next cure for cancer. And all of these are developing knowledge artifacts. So whether it's knowledge that already exists and the integration, the embedding of it into knowledge graph is the knowledge artifact, or whether if it's knowledge that we didn't know even, and the machine can scan so many texts and can tell us something new. These are 2 different ways for developing a new knowledge artifact. And I think that in the second one, there's something very new, because we were all brought up speaking about knowledge development of people, saying that nonaka, that knowledge is developed through people and socialization, and later on externalization, combination, and internalization. But that is one model of knowledge development.
True.
I haven't researched on it. There are several models of knowledge development. That is one of them. A totally different one is knowledge development by AI.
Wonderful.
Like the artifact that I just mentioned.
Exactly, exactly. Salvaging whatever we can from the past. I remember the HP CEO sometime mentioning that I don't know what knowledge I have in my company. Probably that can get solved with AI, the second option given by AI where they create the knowledge.
Yes, indeed, you are right. There are also additional ways, because also the first one I said, knowledge graphs, also
Right,
helps me know what I don't know.
right.
Also the second one, but also in between,
Mm-hmm,
there's something wonderful that AI helps us,
mm-hmm.
having better search engines,
Ah,
because their
it's true.
answers are more focused and are more relevant.
Hmm.
So the problem today with our search engines, that they don't always rank what we want best. I'm
Right,
not speaking about when we don't put them on the right sources, but even if we put them on the right sources and they found the correct answers, most of them already do it. The problem is that our answer that we need is in page 15 or
15.
even 115.
That's true.
And therefore, we don't know what we knew.
What we need.
If we only knew what we know. So search engines, that their ranking is better based today on AI. This is a discipline that is all the time developing, but AI again leveraged it to a new point, to a new
That's
level.
true.
That also in between with the knowledge graph and the new knowledge helps us know what the organization already knows, but we don't know that we know it.
Knows. Exactly. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation with you, and I learned a lot in terms of what to look forward for in terms of how to look at the how to engage with the leadership team, and of course the pandemic, on what are the different levels under which we need to engage with people to get out the best from them. So I thanks a lot. Thank you a lot for giving us this opportunity and sharing your knowledge with us. Um, and looking forward for this pandemic to get over and to get an opportunity to meet you in person. It's been
Right?
wonderful, wonderful to talk to
2 years ago, I was in India, in Bangalore. I may come back.
you. Please.
So it was my pleasure, and
Thank you
namaste.
so much. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you.